What is going on, guys? How are you all doing today? Now, we have Spider-Man the Other Evolve or Die Part 3, and it actually takes place in the Amazing Spider-Man issue 525. Now, as you'll probably know from the previous issue, Mary Jane is actually struggling with coping with Peter Parker being Spider-Man, and it's mainly because he's getting a little bit sloppy. He isn't as focused as what he should be, and eventually he's going to get himself killed. Now, of course, we know that there's actually something wrong with Peter. He's actually got something wrong in his blood or something like that. Similar to what, similar to a disease or something, but of course, more on spider terms. But yeah, so this issue actually focuses more on that, and it kind of focuses on a little bit more about Aunt May as well. We learn a little bit more about her. So, guys, enough talking, let's find out what's in the comic, and let's get into it. Straight away, as soon as we get into the issue, you can notice something actually quite familiar about this panel, and guys, in case you didn't know, this saga, Evolve or Die, actually takes place before the One More Day saga. Now, if you haven't read One More Day, then there's going to be an annotation on the screen somewhere that you can click and it'll take you to it. And what's special about the One More Day saga is that it takes place 19 issues after this issue. So this is the Amazing Spider-Man issue 525, and One More Day starts in the Amazing Spider-Man issue 544. Now, in the One More Day saga, Aunt May actually gets shot and ends up in a hospital bed, almost exactly the same as what we are seeing here right now. Of course, the only difference is that in the hospital bed here is Aunt May's mother, and in the One More Day saga, it's Aunt May herself. And I actually feel like the writers and the artists behind this issue are actually kind of foreshadowing or reminiscing what is to come. Or at least in my opinion anyway. I don't know about you guys, but let me know in the comment section below about that, because I'd love to hear your thoughts about that. But yeah, so as I was saying at the beginning of the video about us finding out a little bit more about Aunt May, right there we could see that Aunt May actually had to make the difficult decision to let her mother die, to let her mother pass on to the other side, and that's not an easy task to do. I mean, obviously there's going to be a lot of emotional scarring right there, and that's what we could see there with Aunt May actually having nightmares about it. Now, going over to Peter and Mary Jane, they're actually having a little bit of a domestic, mainly because Mary Jane didn't wake up Peter because the city was under attack, and Mary Jane didn't wake him up, and he's obviously upset about that because he feels obligated to go out there and save people, and of course he still feels guilty about Uncle Ben's death and all that, and that's what drives him to be Spider-Man. But Aunt May actually noticed something about Peter that usually wouldn't happen. Now, when he bumped into Aunt May, he wasn't quick enough to move out of the way. Now, of course, we know that it's because Peter's going through that thing with, like, that disease or whatever it was to do with his spider powers, and his senses are messing up. He's not exactly with it completely. Now that I think about it, it is a little bit similar to what Silk is going through in her new series, Silk issue 1. So maybe Silk's actually going a little bit crazy with the other. I don't know, but yeah. So anyway, as you can see on screen, Tracer, the guy from the first part of the Spider-Man the Other, he's actually in the Avengers Tower talking to Aunt May, and it's a little bit weird. He actually poses as one of the members of the Avengers, saying how he's a reserve for the Avengers to look after the building and stuff like that whilst they are out saving people in the city. And I don't know how Aunt May could actually fall for that so easily. I mean, yeah, to be honest, I don't even know how Tracer even got in the building. But anyway, as you can see, going back to Spider-Man, Marlon actually pays Spider-Man a visit and knows that Spider-Man isn't at his full potential, he isn't in his prime, and Marlon doesn't want such an easy kill. He wants to study Spider-Man and probably see what's actually going on, because in case you guys didn't know, no other Spider-Man in any other universe or dimension has ever got the other powers, and that's why Marlon is so intrigued, because Marlon has never seen it before, and Marlon doesn't even know that Spider-Man is embracing the other. He just thinks that he's, just sick or something like that, and that's why in the Spider-Verse Marlon is so afraid of the 616 universe, because no Spider-Man has ever beaten Marlon, no Spider-Man has ever killed Marlon, but once 616 Peter becomes the other, he rips Marlon apart, and that's why Marlon is so afraid of Spider-Man in the 616 universe in the Spider-Verse, because Marlon has never been beaten until he meets the 616 Spider-Man. So yeah, if you guys didn't know that, then that's something that's really interesting to know. Anyway, as you can see on screen, Spider-Man returns back to Avengers Tower and ultimately discovers that Tracer is sat in the kitchen talking to Aunt May, to which Aunt May doesn't know that Tracer is a supervillain. So That's pretty crazy that Aunt May was actually just sat there with a supervillain, talking face to face, having a normal conversation. But then again, he did kind of say that it was part of the Avengers reserve, so I don't see why she wouldn't talk to him. But we have this awesome part of Spider-Man right here, and I absolutely love this conversation between Spider-Man and Tracer, because Tracer actually takes a blood sample and a DNA test and all that of Spider-Man and discovers that he's actually sick, that he isn't in his prime, that he's not at his full potential. And Tracer is absolutely mortified that Spider-Man would even try and fight Tracer. But Tracer actually wants Spider-Man to be at his full potential so that he can have a better fight. And I absolutely love this part from Spider-Man and Tracer right here, especially because it reminds me of Spider-Man the Back in Black saga, where Spider-Man just goes all out crazy. Guys, if you haven't seen my reviews for Spider-Man the Back in Black saga, then you definitely need to see it, because it is where Spider-Man goes full out crazy. Remember when I was saying in the One More Day saga where Aunt May gets shot? Well, that sends Peter over the edge, and when I say over the edge, I mean quite possibly the most badass you will ever see Spider-Man in your entire life. Now, if you absolutely love Spider-Man and you want to see him at his full power, like no holding back, go and read them reviews, watch my reviews on the Amazing Spider-Man Back in Black saga. There's an annotation on the screen right now. Trust me, you will not regret it. They are absolutely amazing. Probably one of my favourite sagas throughout the entire Amazing Spider-Man series ever. And yeah, so after that little fanboy moment right there, going back to this issue, as you could see at the end there, Spider-Man was about to tell Aunt May what's been going on with him and why he's like a little bit upset and why he's acting a little weird. However, guys, you're actually going to have to wait until the next issue to see Aunt May's reaction to that, and it only gets better from here. The next few issues are going to be really interesting to see, especially now that Mullen has revealed himself. And yeah, so what did you guys think of this issue? Let me know in the comment section below. I want to know what you guys think. I'm going to give this issue an 8 out of 10. I thought the art was brilliant, and I thought that the story was even better. And just the Spider-Man story as a whole overall, with the Over and the Evolve or Die, it's going to get so good. So make sure you look out for my next review. And guys, hit the like button on this video, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Don't forget to go to the links in the description to my Facebook page and my Twitter, and I will see you guys in my next video.